Pretty big update here, something that I'm specifically excited about. SpaceX weighs spinning off Starlink via IPO as soon as 2024. For a very, very long time, I've told everyone I avoid IPOs because it's a lot of randomness, it's a lot of volatility. I don't think there's much of a trading and or investing edge. And I added on one little asterisk to that comment. And that comment was, I would be involved in SpaceX/Starlink. I just want to be in day one, put it in my long-term account and let it sit for a couple decades. Because in my mind, the company that provides internet to the entire world, probably going to be a pretty successful company. And based on the current landscape, I would argue that Starlink is the clear, obvious frontrunner to pull off that task. Starlink satellites beam down high-speed internet from space. Starlink could generate some $10 billion in sales next year. Still a private company, and I'm just excited to see where Elon could really take this thing. SpaceX is discussing an initial public offering for its fast-growing Starlink satellite business as soon as late 2024. To get ready, SpaceX has been moving the satellite unit's assets to a wholly owned subsidiary that would ultimately be spun off in the IPO. No final decision has been made, as it's possible that the SpaceX retains the unit. The listing could also be delayed till 2025. So at this moment in time, as we're filming this in late 2023, there's no definitive answer, but as a person who's very, very interested in this potential, there's hope. It's almost like the Dumb and Dumber meme. So it's like, so you're saying I have a chance? That's how I feel right now. So I just want to let you know, because I've been saying this for years. In terms of IPOs, this is one that I'm going to be particularly excited about, just because in my mind, it's so evident that the value this will provide to everyone in the world. Remember, there's a lot of people in this world right now that still have no access to internet. And then all of a sudden, I think if it is offered to everyone, if that's a feasible thing, think about the transformation that could really bring about. And obviously, here's what Bloomberg had to say on the matter.
Reporting from Ed Ludlow here at Bloomberg on SpaceX discussing an IPO for its Starlink satellite business as soon as next year in order to capitalize on robust demand. I'm pleased to say that Ed's jumped in front of a camera for us now. Ed, what's the latest?
Yeah, so sources say that the end of 2024 is possible, noting that it's also an election period, right? And then if not the end of 2024, 2025. The idea of Starlink being spun off is something that Elon Musk and Gwynne Shotwell, who's the president of SpaceX, have discussed in the past.
$10 billion
What's
in
changed
sales
is just that the
year.
business has such momentum. We reported a couple of weeks ago that next year Starlink revenues could be about $10 billion, meaning the majority of revenues overall from SpaceX, alongside the launch business. John, it's important to note that I'm hearing from one source that what SpaceX is doing is moving Starlink and Starlink's assets into a subsidiary, incorporating it as its own private entity, a wholly owned subsidiary of SpaceX, kind of a stepping stone towards that. But immediately following publication of our reporting and our story, Elon Musk tweeted or posted on X, the platform formerly known as Twitter, false. He was responding to a user who'd taken a screen grab of the story. So for transparency,
that's a
there
bit
it is.
bummer.
Musk saying that this reporting's false, but that's what we understand from our Bloomberg sources.
All right, well, that throws a little bit of a wrench into the situation. So I guess my question here is twofold. Number one, do you think it's false or not? Do you think this is him maybe trying to make some sort of business move to get a higher valuation? Do you think it is maybe just legitimately false and he doesn't want to deal with the public market? That's obviously a possibility. Oh man. And I guess my second tier question is, if it goes live, whether IPO or later down the line, is this a company that you're as excited about as I am? Because in my mind, as I alluded to before, this is one of the most obvious things. The person who provides the internet to the world, everyone in the world, to me, that's going to be a solid business. But obviously, maybe I'm missing something. So I would obviously love to get your thoughts.